barely 48 hours ago, the country was greeted to that headline, if you remember. So this is according to the mass newspaper, and they carry this headline saying, cadres were sent, a United Party for National Development, UPND knows who sent them to the Patriotic Front PF office, says Laura Miti. So barely the 48 hours ago, that happened at the PF Secretariat. If you remember, there are videos that have been circulating online, and majority of the citizens have condemned those attacks, and have also condemned the people behind it. And then also, no arrests, at least up to this point, that has been made from that, just warnings. Senior leadership from the UPND simply distanced themselves to say anybody that is going to be caught has been propagated as part of that violence that happened at the PF Secretariat is going to be disowned by the party and is going to face the full wrath of the law. But since then, nothing has happened. So people are just waiting. Maybe say there's an investigation that is happening since the people that are being referred to, their faces are all over videos. There are videos that have circulated. So investigating and finding them should be an easy job. But unfortunately, as of lunchtime today, another news headline hit the waves, and that's to do with Given Lubinda. So Given Lubinda, as I speak, is in hospital getting medical attention. You may ask, from what? So some videos started circulating earlier on of him being dragged and being beaten by people that are alleged to be UPND cadres. Now, the two sides of the aisle are arguing to say those are just within Patriotic Front, those are then PF is saying those are UPND cadres. Okay, fine. In as much as we do not know which side of the aisle they're coming from, but the fact is that given when there was attacked, that fact acknowledged, and that's an illegality. So whoever is behind that, let them be arrested because they're on video. So obviously, the Patriotic Front carried that headline before the news circulated. They say, "Breaking news: Patriotic Front acting president Honorable Gideon Lubinda has reportedly been attacked and abducted by suspected UPND cadres." So when that news headline crossed the airwaves, most people just ignored it, like, no, it's PF propaganda, until the videos started accompanying it. So Gideon Lubinda earlier on today was on the cover boat. He had a number of live streams. So according to that live stream that he had on Smart Eagles, which carried the headlines or the caption, which says, acting president of Antonse Alliance chairperson, Honorable Gideon Lubinda, speaking at party structures in Kabwe, as is flanked by PF members of the Central Committee and Antonse Alliance members. So that's a video that's been referred to, and that was given in the area on in Kabwe, obviously meeting PF members. As you may be aware, Patriotic Front had announced to say they were supposed to have the general conference where they're supposed to elect a new president after Edgar Lungu died, and obviously a number of people have filed in the nomination to participate in those elections. So Given Lubinda was on the ground to meet up those structures in Kabwe. And it's at this same lodge where he was picked up by those other cadres or those thugs that have been referred to. So when he was doing this live stream, obviously his location was known. It was public because he did a press brief during the same interaction, and also he had that meet and greet with those members of the Patriotic Front or whoever he was meeting from the structures. And then later on, this is what happened as the news proceeds. So during that meeting, you can see that that live stream, another live stream happened. That was also part of the same location. Given Lubinda is there, and then it says acting president, obviously pretty much the same headline, carrying the same headline. Now that's the video that's been referred to. So you can clearly see the people that are dragging Given Lubinda in this video. If you haven't seen the video, it's on this channel. Just peruse through the playlist, you see the video there. So Kalemba reported, say, disturbing. Thugs operating under the banner of the United Party, UPND, United Party for National Development, dragged Patriotic Front PF acting president Given Lubinda out of a lodge facility in Kabwe. So the same lodge facility where Given Lubinda was having that press interaction with members of the PF. So fine, if people are arguing to say they're not UPND, but you can see the guy in the center there is wearing a UPND t-shirt, fine. Okay, even if they're not UPND, they are MMD, they are socialists, or whatever they are, what they are doing in this video is an illegality, and their faces are quite clear in that video. So why doesn't the police just swing at them and pretty much deal with them? It would even be better if they deal with them and prove it to the fact, so no, they're coming from the opposition. But otherwise, if this news headline pretty much dies a natural death, makes people wonder to say what's going on here. If indeed it's not, so you can see people have done screenshots of these individuals. Their faces are very clear, and now with the AI, even what you call them, even a 14-year-old is able to locate these guys just using AI. It's very easy to identify these individuals. This particular video can be cleaned up, and obviously their identities will be known. So identifying them wouldn't be a big issue. So everyone is in this video, aside from Given Lubinda who's being dragged, should be arrested regardless of political affiliation. And then the UPND responded saying, this is not the first time Lubinda has been clobbered by Patriotic Front cadres. Even when he was minister, they clobbered him in Kawata. So I don't see how that's a defense, according to the people that run that UPND Zambia page. Sometimes the admins should be checked because are they trying to justify it? But anyway, but yeah, that's the caption to that. And then people started beginning to wonder, according to Smart Eagles, who is protecting this lawlessness and defiance uh, that's going on? If you remember, the scenario playing out is not different what we thought played out with the time when Innocent Kalimanshi and the Patriotic Front cadres were ruling the streets of the nation. It's the people that revolted, the Zambians that revolted, said that nonsense that is happening by the Patriotic Front cadres and whoever was trying to claim to say they were sent by Edgar Chagolungu is not allowed. Zambians have no time for that nonsense. So I do not see how the UPND would feel their situation will be different. It's the Zambians that rejected. These cadres usually will claim to say, no, we're protecting the party, no, we're defending. It's usually, for example, this given in the video, it's about, I think, 20 guys that went to pick him up, if you can see on that screen. But the majority of the Zambians that have voters' cards don't have to go and do all that. They'll simply go and vote out this nonsense, which was voted out under the Patriotic Fund. I do not see it holding any water under the UPND. So the best thing that the UPND can do is that deal with this issue shrewdly, and the Zambian people will be able to make an assessment to say, oh yeah, they have an interest at heart. Otherwise, trying to defend them to say, no, we're going to lose cadres. The fact is that the people that should be worried about is losing the voters. Who are the majority? Usually, these cadres don't even have voters' cards. They're too drunk and too drugged up to even have the time to go and line up and get voters' cards. But the people that are watching this situation are the ones that are going to make a decision at the end of the day. And then to which Harika obviously tagged the same video. It's gone viral, like everywhere. I'm pretty sure you've come across. And they've been taken from different angles. That's a funny thing in these days. I do not see how people are so comfortable in doing legalities, especially during broad daylight, because you might threaten someone who was filming you from one angle, but everyone's got a phone nowadays. More videos are circulating from different angles, others from people who are just driving by, others who are riding bicycles. I'll show you some of the videos that have circulated. So this thing, identifying the people involved, is very easy. So Harikawa says, I just watched a disturbing video of Lubinda's abduction and suspected UPND cadres in Kabwe. This is not the first, and barely a month ago, PF Joe Nyondo was abducted, and yet no arrests have been made or no official word. He says, my plea to, and then he tags President Hakainde Hichilema. Says, my plea to Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, if you allow this thuggery and political abductions to continue, soon there will be no Zambia left for any of us to live in or for you to preside over. That's according to Harika, Citizens First president. And obviously, Brown will also held a press briefing confirming the same news of Given Lubinda's situation. This is earlier on before Given was taken to the hospital. And then Makebi Zulu has also weighed in. As you may be aware, he's also a presidential candidate who's aspiring to be Patriotic Front president and eventually run at national level. So he says, disturbing videos of acting president, acting Patriotic Front president Given Lubinda being harassed and dragged by UPND cadres has been released on the internet, exposing the extent to which the ruling party is violence. This is not to expose anything new, but the proof that the UPND has always the violent ways in its operations. So we therefore condemn in the strongest terms, this is Makebi Zulu, in the strongest terms, the attack on Honorable Lubinda and challenge the United Party for National Development, UPND, to do the same and control their cadres. If at all, they do not carry out such acts with the blessings of the party, he says. And we also call on the church, NGO, political parties, and every well-meaning Zambians to condemn such brutality, which has been condemned clearly. That's Makebi Zulu's view there. And according to Chair, the Voice of Zambia, she says after realizing there is video, UPND cadres disposed Honorable Given Lubinda at Central Police, claiming they affected the citizen arrest because he was having a meeting. Because he was having a meeting, he's currently at the hospital. As he was beaten. So he was slapped, you can see in those videos. So it seems like it's after they realized that no, there are videos that have been circulating on the internet, the cars that were in everything. Let me play you the video of one of the cars that they are moving in, and the guy was simply explaining, he was trying to film it. Nowadays, hiding, everyone is filming, so they didn't even know the people in the cars were filming. So this video was taken. This guy in this car was following them behind, and he just looked like no another person driving by. But you could see he was even avoiding where when they look through his car, he moves his camera off the screen. So I can assure you, more videos will circulate. Those people that are walking down there, some of them were filming. So these incidents, the identity of these guys is easy to trace. So this guy followed them throughout, but you could sense from the video where he was fearing for his life. He said, "I can't film now. I have to drop the camera because they're looking at his car." But he drives with them. The cars that are moving in, you can see there, and then as they drag Given Lubinda along the way, he tried to move close, but became too tense. He had to turn the other direction because definitely it wasn't safe for him. So you can imagine people now are hiding, trying to film. So these videos are everywhere, and the people involved in that, whatever happened with Given Lubinda, are easy to identify and deal with. So anyway, let's wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, that's what happened. And according to the update by Emmanuel Mwamba, Given Lubinda admitted in hospital in Kabwe, and he shares that image. And then Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbo has dispelled online reports that Given Lubinda has been abducted. So according to Kalemba, they said they've got information that they've received from Minister Jack Mwimbo displaying that Given Lubinda was abducted. And that's according to Kalemba there. And then they go further to say, Honorable Given Lubinda is safe and sound. He was rescued by the Zambia Police Service, Home Affairs, and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbo has revealed. So then rescued from what is another question if no abduction had taken place. Anyway, let's wait and see how this plays out. But yeah, so according to Kalemba, they got that information from the minister himself. And obviously, the UPND say PF are seriously trying by all means to paint United Party for National Development, UPND, to have a tag of violence that they have. This is planned and is meant to bring back bad memories of Zambians so that they say UPND is also bad. Fine, that's an argument that they're making. If UPND is not involved in any of the PF attacks at the Secretariat, it's not also involved in this thing that the PF is trying to blame it on them. The easiest thing is that the people involved in the video are easy to identify, go and deal with them. And once people see arrests start happening of these individuals, not where you wait for an issue to die down in the conversation of the nation, people will start wondering to say, hey, how can you say they are not your people, but you are not inflicting arrests? And worse off, the people and the faces that are known. So anyway, Zambians are very intelligent to be able to read through such things. And one person that you have to credit for, I mean, one UPND person in diaspora, that's George Mutonga. He put up a view and says, I am expecting our party, that's the UPND, according to George Mutonga, says, I'm expecting our party to tell us if any of these people belong to us, meaning the UPND. We cannot be part of things like this. Guys, Mwevantu, Honorable Given Lubinda is our former minister. What are we saying about the position? If people can do this and we don't have then we don't have protection. I propose this 8 months before elections. Any candidate for presidency of Zambia who announces must be given security until the election. This is unacceptable. Wasn't there any security measures for the honorable? This is not Zambian. This is not the Zambia we want. Let us please condemn this. Everyone is condemning this. People are simply calling to say arrest should happen, and the arrest should be backdated to the PF attack at the secretariat and everyone else that was involved. But not just saying no, you condemn the violence and no arrests that have been inflicted. People will simply read it through the unwritten rule to say there's something going on here. The people are identified. There are people on video from different angles, but no arrest has been enforced. And obviously, the UPND doubles down to say, and the first one to issue a statement is the opponent, Brian Munduile and Davis Mwira. That's the UPND. And then they go further to say, obviously, reporting in real time, the same. We remember when movement for multi-party development, multi-party democracy, MMD National Secretary, the Major Richard Kachingwe, was shuffled and huffled around his office by the then diehard national coordinator Boma Nusambo. We have watched this movie before. This argument that the UPND is trying to put across is very simple. Simply arrest those people in the video. The Zambians will be able to judge, but otherwise, issuing statement trying to push an agenda that's different from arrests will not hold any water. The people are identified, arrest them. If they are PF, even better. If they are Socialist Party, even better. Well, if they are UPND, it will look good for the UPND to condemn the violence as they've done, and also arrest them. As simple as that. Obviously, that's a video Fred members also shared. He said this shouldn't be tolerated at all, and then tagged himself. And then, according to UPND, say acting president for a country's biggest opposition political party, moving and getting abducted alone. What happened to the security and party officials, even those at branch level? So I'm failing to get the logic here. Was he supposed to have his own cadres? And then if he had his own cadres, were those cadres supposed to have started a fight with those that came to pick him up? I don't get the logic here, honestly. That's why we've got law enforcement. The police take charge and obviously take the situation. That's an illegality and it's supposed to be dealt with as such, as an illegality. And the police are well placed to handle the situation. Not this thing whereby everyone's is supposed to have his own version of thugs. No, that one is not the way forward. And then Chifetai says politics they have na yokukosa. Next ni Malukula referring to Makebi Zulu. That's according to Chifetai. He's speaking from the diaspora. From his self-imposed exile there. You can issue statements like that, obviously. And then obviously, Chombaka Oma says the abduction and torture of Honorable Given Lubinda is sad to say. The list, dear colleagues in the United Party for National Development (UPND), this is not the Zambia we want. That's very clear, and Zambians are very clear. They did not tolerate it with the Innocent Kambanshi and the Patriotic Front cadres. They will not tolerate it with the UPND. There is no exception about that. It's as simple as that. And one person that's very clear about it is the National Youth Chairperson for UPND, Gilbert Rusaniso. And he says, for me, my punishment is different from everyone. When you are identified as a ringleader, we will chase you from the party. That he says, okay, fine. If it's identified that, yes, those are UPND cadres that attacked the Patriotic Front office and also who have been involved in this alleged abduction of Given Lubinda, people are going to be chased from the party. To which George Mutonga responded to him. He says, Honorable, we should equally be giving them disciplinary processes dealing with the UPND. We should disciplinary process where we teach them politics. While we disagree on their behavior, politics is an emotional and they may overreact. So he's simply saying, yes, if it's our people, let's find a way of dealing with that situation. Yeah, anyway, I think that's the news. What else is in the news? And then George Mutonga says, there is nothing funny about this. Arrest all the thugs and send them to jail. It's as simple as that. And that is what is going to send the message. Imagine if the attack on the PF office happened about just less than 48 hours ago. Then today, this has happened to Given Lubinda. It's because arrests are not being enforced. If arrests happen from that PF attack, today's situation, these guys would have feared to say the police are going to handle the situation. But as long as it's only no, we condemn the situation and no arrests, this thing they're letting it fester. Obviously, John Mutonga simply says there's nothing funny about this arrests. Those thugs. It's as simple whether they are MMD, they are PF, they are UPND, whichever party they're from. What the behavior they are portraying there is thuggery, and the police should take charge. What's the story, obviously, about Given Lubinda? He asks the same. What the hell is becoming of you guys? You are laughing and thinking it's funny. That's George Mutonga. You're laughing and thinking it's funny to have a bunch of thugs do that to a former minister. The problem with you is that you don't even see how this behavior ruins our own institutions. There's nothing funny about this. Everyone in that video must be arrested, and that's what every Zambian is calling for. And you hear it from a UPND supporter from the US there. He says, it's quite clear. Everyone is just waiting for one action. The police should arrest those people. Any statements to say we condemn, we don't allow, no one's ready for those stories. Action is what is left. And then obviously the Daily Nation say, open obviously that's the headline. Laz and still the Daily Nation. Daily Mail, UPND engages Sadiq over Mwamba. There's that engagement going on. No 7 year for Hakainde Hichilema. Zambians won't allow him to amend the constitution. That's Given Lubinda. That's from yesterday's newspaper headline. Anyway, that's the news, ladies and gentlemen, before this video becomes too long. But anyway, you've seen the news, and that's what's going on.